Hello, today we are going to learn how to create a simple PLC program using TIA portal with 30. Guys, so for the same, we will be using Siemens software totally integrated automation portal V13. This video is being developed only for the sake of education. Now, I will show you what are the features present in this TI portal. So the first feature is open an existing project, second is create new project, third one is migrate project. So open existing project, it means I can open a project which is already created. Second is how I can create a new project, which we will be seeing in just few seconds. And migrate project. So in migrate project, this feature is used whenever you are going to convert a project from the previous version of TI portal to the other version, or you can use say that you creating a software of PLC by using semantic manager, then you can use this migrate project option like this, and you can see that you can select the project which you want to migrate and the target where you want to save the project. Okay, so since this is a very basic PLC program which we are going to write, this is only for the beginner purpose, how to get acquainted with how to use the TI portal V13 software. So we will not go into much detail into this migrate project. Later on we will see in our next videos how to migrate a project. Okay, and if you want to know how which software is installed in your laptop, so you can see that installed software, and you can see that TI portal V13 SP1 step 7 professional and WinCC basic. Okay, now there are types of WinCC basic, advanced and professional. In professional you can create SCADA as well. In WinCC basic you can't create a SCADA project because these are limited only to the touch panels, then the key panels, only that types of HMIs are available. When you install WinCC advanced or WinCC professional, you can use the facility of creating a SCADA project in TI portal V13. We are using V13, but in market V14, V15 are also available. So whichever you are having, you can work with it. Basic software is same in all cases. Now let's begin. I will go into create new project. So in this project name, I will give it as a first name as simple PLC project, or you can say it's program. So the path is YouTube. You can give any type of name whichever you want, and the author, if you want you can change the author. For timing I will just write as Sujata. Okay, and if you want to write some comment like what is the type of program you are writing, for what you are writing, if you want to write any name of any client or vendor, then you can do it. So I can write here as it is KBT BE students. Okay, I will say create. Yes. So the extension of TI portal software's program is .ap13. If you are using version 14, it is ap14. If you are using 12, ap12. Okay, so this view is called portal view. There are two types of views in Siemens in TI portal. It is portal view and project view. So we are here now in portal view. So it gives you how to configure a device, write a PLC program. You can go from this also, or else you can switch into a very common and user friendly view, that is project view. I will just click on it. Okay, now it is open. Now this is very familiar with this type of view. Okay, because most of the PLC softwares use this kind of view. Even though you can create it, you can even use that here as well. Okay, now This is called project. So whatever you are going to create, hardware and all that, that will be added here only. If you want to see that what is the software installed, you can go here. Then this download and upload buttons. Then this is accessible devices. Now accessible devices is used to get which PLCs are online. Okay. Then you can say open a project from here as well. You can create a new project from here. So you can use from any one way, that is the first method or second method or third method. So first method was just create using the portal view. Second is once you create a project, then you can configure the device using the portal view. And now this is a project view. So in project view also you can create a new project and you can also configure device. Now what we will do, we'll begin with our new device. So I will just click on add new device. New device, that means the software is still not knowing what is the PLC which you are going to use. So we are going to use for timing CPU 1214 CDC DC, and this is the version, that is V4.1, and the MLB number is 6ES72141AG40 Now this is a series which we have in our college, so I have kept it as it is. As you know that every PLC will be having some work memory. So in this it is 100 kbs and there is a power supply, so it requires 24 volt power supply. Then this PLC is having 14 DIs and 10 DOs. Now what is the sync and source, I will let you know in my coming videos, but sync and source just tells you that whether the power will be taken by the inputs or whether these inputs will be giving the power to that digital devices. Digital devices are nothing but your switches, your proxy switches, your toggle switches or any transmitter. Okay, now as this is digital, so we are just talk with proxies and toggle switches or push buttons. So whether these proxies, push buttons or toggle switches will be taking the input, that is taking the 24 volt power from the PLC, or whether they are going to supply the power to the PLC, this distinguishes between sync and source. Okay, then this also has two analog inputs on board. Basically this TI1214 DC PLC has analog inputs which only and only support voltage on board. So if you want a current analog input, then you need to create do a module here. Analog output input module has to be connected here, or else you can create it using a signal board. Okay, it is present here. Then apart from this PLC has a feature of 6 high-speed counters. Now what for this is 6 high-speed counters used? Whenever I need to check the speed of my motor, then I need a encoder. So I can use the digital inputs present on this CPU as a communication or a interfacing point for my encoder. So I can use this. So such kind of high-speed counters provided by this PLC are 6. Apart from that, I have 4 pulse outputs. Pulse outputs, that means if I want to connect this PLC and drive a stepper motor or a servo motor, then this CPU is having a facility of giving you pulses, outputs in the pulses form. That is, as you all know that servo works on pulses and stepper also works on pulses. So this can be given by this PLC. So such type of 4 PTOs are available. Then you can have signal board. Then you have 3 communication modules. Now as this communication module, that means if I have a Profinet PLC and I want to communicate with some Profibus PLC, I can use a communication module here. Or else I have something called as LED display or any third party hardware which is other than that of Profinet or Ethernet. Then I need to connect a communication module so that it will enable this PLC to talk with the other third party device. Okay, it can be serial, it can be 485, it can be it can be Profibus, it can be Modbus as well. Then you can create up to 6 signal modules. So from this end you can create 6 signal modules. Then Profinet interface for programming and HMI and PLC produce communications available in this PLC. Okay, this is a very basic description of this PLC. Then we will say okay. So in this here we will get a new PLC will be added. It will be PLC1. Takes some time. Okay, so you have the hardware available with you now. So these are the 3 slots for communication modules. These are the 8 slots for connecting the signal modules, that is AIs, AOs, DIDOs, DIDO and AIDO separately as well as inbuilt. Then this is provided for signal board, that is we can, if we are in short of only 1 or 2 AI, then we can connect a signal board. If 1 or 2 DI also, we can have the signal board here. These are called signal modules. These are communication boards. Now this is a port for Ethernet communication. Okay, now we will click directly on this PLC and see the properties what the PLC explains. Okay, now the PLC has, this is PLC name and all. Slot is 1, rack is 0. Then we have the Profinet interface here. So we have kept the IP address of this PLC as 192.168.0.1, 255.255.255 is the subnet mask. If you want, you can change the IP address of this, but by default this PLC is having 0.1 series of IP address. Okay, then we will see there are 14 DIs. So the DI addressing starts from 0.0. If you don't want 0.0, you can just go into input output addresses and change the start address. Now we will, for timing, change it to 10. So it is 10 and 11. Output address we will keep as it is. If you want, you can also change that and see the change here. So it is I10.0. In DO we haven't changed, so it is Q0.0. Then it is an analog input here. Analog input is, as I previously discussed, that this analog inputs will be only voltage form. Yes, so they are not allowing us to change to signal my current source, and the range of voltage is 0 to 10 volts only. We can't change this because this AI is on board. This AI is not signal module. Okay, then 6 high speed counter. So see, we can have this enable high speed counter, so it will tell you type of counting, whether you want to count the period, frequency, motion control. So these are all available to measure the speed of my motor or give the commands. Okay, then whether the encoder is of 2-phase, single phase, AB counter or AB counter for 4-fold. Okay, then I will just disable this because we don't want this set right now. Then we have a PTO. Okay, so even if I enable this PTO, so here we can have PWM, PTO pulse A direction B, count up, count down. So these are the types of PTOs which I can configure. Okay, it is at 1200. Then very important thing is we will go into system and clock memory. So this memory is used for giving a by default memory bit. For example, now it is MB1. That means from first byte, address of 1 byte will be taking the value that's always true, always false. So this bits will be always high. Whenever I want to make any logic always true, I can directly use M1.2 rather than writing some logic. If in my PLC program I have something which I want to scan for the first time only, then I can use M1.0. Okay, similarly if I want to use a clock memory, that means I want to update my PLC logic or add something with this frequency, that is 10 hertz, 5 hertz, 2.5 hertz, whichever you want, you can use this. So we can use a 1 hertz clock, okay, that is M0.5 if you want a seconds counter. Okay, now we will directly jump into program blocks. Okay, in Siemens we have programming block structure as OB, FB, FCs. Today we will learn only about OB. In our next video we will learn about FBs as well. So this is my rung, that is network 1. Then here I have on the right hand side instructions of some basic instructions like bit logic, emergency contact, set reset. I have timers, on delay, off delay, on delay retentive. Then I have counter, up counting, down counting. I have comparator operations, equal, less than equal to. Okay. So whichever instruction we want to take, we can just drag and drop from here. Apart from basic instructions, we also have extended instructions, like if I want to read a string, if I want to write a string, I can use this. Okay. Then if I want to communicate with my drive, then I can use counting, that is control high speed counter, PID control, motion control. These are technology objects. If I want to communicate with third party device, then I can use get port, it is Profinet. If it is something else, then we can go for T-Sentinel receive via Ethernet. Okay, there are a number of operations to communicate. Now we'll just take a bit logic operation, like see, I have just double click on it, and again I will take a coil. Okay, now I will write here as I10.0, which is the address of my input. Then I will write here as Q0.0, which is my output. Now I want to need to change the name, so I will just right click, say rename tag, and in it I will write start pump. Okay, and change it. And to the output I will write pump command. Okay, now this is a very simple thing. Now whichever tags you are going to create, they are going to automatically get created here. So you have created that enable bit, then you have created start pump and pump command. Okay, then this is a very simple run, that is if you make this one, it will be 1. If I want to add some timer, so I can directly click here and say on delay timer. Now my logic is something that once I give the input, after some delay my pump will be on. Okay, now this is called as a instance DP, which comes along with my timer. If I want to create it manually also, it can be done, and I can give a different name instead of IC timer. For example, pump delay time. Okay, and say okay. Now if I say that after 10 seconds only I want to make that pump on, so just enter 10, you can do the logic as you want. Okay, then just save it, click here, say compile. Compile will enable you to know what are the errors in your program. If something is missing, if something is used wrong, you can do. So it is better always to compile. If you are not going to compile, then to the software, when you are going to download, it is surely going to compile the logic first and then only go download. Okay, then see, I will just show you how to download because we are not online with the PLC. Click here, and either you can click on this download option or you can right click, download hardware and software only changes. Okay, now if you want to change then what you want to do is you need to change first of all the adapter. Yes, go into local area connection, enable it, and you have to disable this. Okay, now see, network cable is unplugged because I am not connected with the software yet, with the actual PLC hardware. I am just showing you how to create. These are the creation steps. So it is giving me cross. Okay, I will disable it and I will close this one. Yes, so I will just show the settings. Like here it will be PNI and here it will be my Ethernet card which is available with my laptop or PC. I will say start search and it will start searching whether my PLC is there. If you find any PLC found here and the address is 192.168.0.1, just click on it, click here and say load. Okay, and the PLC program will be loaded. That is it. Then this was all about a very basic introduction of how to create a project, how to take instructions, how to use a timer, and get familiar with most of the very basic instructions which you need to create a simple logic. Okay, thanks for watching.